If you think Heavy Rain is just another action game, think again. Quantic Dream's upcoming release plays like the brooding love child of video games and movies.
Drop the gun, now!
It breaks ground as a whole new genre of cinematic gaming. One where you get to really dive into the characters, and one that plays unlike any other game we've experienced. The world of Heavy Rain is seen through the eyes of the 4 main characters that you control. Each is on his or her own unique mission to track down and stop the origami killer before he claims his next victim. The first character that you become is Ethan Mars. Ethan is an architect who once had it all: the perfect job, the perfect wife, 2 perfect loving kids, and an amazing house. That was 2 years ago. Life has dealt Ethan a miserable hand, and today he is divorced and deeply depressed. Things quickly get even worse when his youngest son Sean is kidnapped by the origami killer. After you've become familiar with Ethan's plight, you're introduced to and play Scott Shelby, the classic private eye. He's been on the trail of the origami killer for a while, but hasn't turned up any big breaks, until now. Also on the case is the steely cool FBI agent Norman Jayden. As you play his character, you get to use his CSI meets the Matrix Uber shades to gather up crucial data when he's out in the field. You later get to analyze said intel through the slickest virtual reality interface we've ever seen. Rounding out the cast is Madison Page. She's a librarian hot journalist with a haircut that screams all business. Madison smells a great story after she bumps into an injured Ethan at a hotel and helps him back to his room. When it comes to getting the scoop, she'll do whatever it takes. Since this is a French game, that of course means getting naked on occasion. Heavy Rain takes place against a concrete, soulless backdrop, but despite its bleak background, it is a visual stunner. The depth and detail of the characters and their environments are beyond impressive. The team at Quantic have worked hard to put every follicle and teardrop in its place. Speaking of drops, that unrelenting rain is almost a character on its own. It not only serves to remind you that the clock is ticking, but also adds texture to the gray, somber, and perpetually soaked scenery, making this the perfect storm setting of a dark film noir. Each character you play is a unique vantage point to view the origami case and a chance to uncover clues, each choice shaping this unfolding mystery. Like piecing together any cinematic masterpiece, patience is a virtue you'll soon realize you need plenty of. Take a deep breath and settle in as you try to wrap your mind around the implications of every action you take. In Heavy Rain, seemingly harmless decisions
You're not drinking?
can have drastically different consequences. For just about every action, there are entirely different reactions and experiences. Thanks to what's called the rubber band effect, no matter what you choose to do, the story remains slick and tight. Main characters can even die, which completely eliminates their chapters from the rest of the game. It's your choices and skills that'll determine the outcome. The more clues you uncover, the better, and keep in mind that this is a race against the clock. The butterfly effects of what you decide to do or not to do make Heavy Rain a uniquely interactive tour de force that puts you in control.
But I work alone.
To show you how this works, here's your chance to try. In this scene, Norman Jayden ends up at Mad Jack's scrapyard after following a tip about a stolen car the origami killer supposedly used.
What you doing in there?
Whether you choose to gather evidence, joust with Jack, or just give up, decides Norman's fate. So get your fingers and moral compass ready. It's time to play Gamer God.
Now take a walk.
Blood. Now why is there blood here?
One of your cop buddies asking too many questions. I had to solder up his little mouth.
Enough around. You have the right to remain silent.
Anything you say can and will be.
Hey,
You look like you got a problem, man.
what? They letting you dope heads in the FBI now? God bless America. I'm gonna give you a little help with your drug problem, Mr. 5-0. Permanently.
Navigating the controls in Heavy Rain takes some practice. Whether you've got pushing prowess or a serious case of butterfingers can determine if your character lives or dies. Thankfully, a solid tutorial at the beginning of the game helps you ease into all of this. Everyday events suddenly take on a whole new level of complexity. Fights require lightning-quick reflexes, while other maneuvers make you play a game of digital Twister, pressing up to 5 hard-to-reach buttons at once. Adding to the cramp in your hands will be the cognitive dissonance in your brain as you make some incredibly weighty decisions.
Are you prepared to suffer to save your son? You have 5 minutes to cut off the last section of one of your fingers in front of the camera.
To chop or not to chop? That is the question. Heavy Rain's cinematic, emotional, and visual depth make it a groundbreaking title. While the pacing takes some getting used to, it does a fine job of balancing slower story bits with edge-of-your-seat action. As with the best movies, we felt invested in the characters, and in the end, that only added to the payoffs. The game is more than just a series of quick-time events, since even events that happen quickly have enduring consequences. With emotion and action this palpable, Heavy Rain isn't entirely a game or entirely a movie, but all interactive intrigue.